So hi everybody, how are you? I'm so glad you guys are here on the call, and I want to thank you for spending a little time with us. We won't take up too much of your night, but I'm excited. I'm excited for you guys to understand what it is that we have in store for you tonight. I think that sometimes, have you ever seen a product that has, you've seen on TV or something new to the marketplace, and you're like, shoot, I wish I would have thought of that, or why didn't I think of that sooner? And I think coming off of this call, probably feel the same way. You might not wish you would have thought of it because you'd have to be a scientist, but you will know. You will know that this will help you or help somebody that you know because it's that good. And the cool part is that we are seeing, it's big and it's real and it's exciting, and we're seeing testimonies come in like crazy. So that's even more fun. So I'm happy. I'm happy to be here with you tonight. I want you to understand there's no hidden agenda here. We really are here to help you guys know that this is available and this will help. I can't make medical claims, of course, and I wouldn't even want to. But I know what it's done for me, and I know what other people are telling me that it's doing for them. So I totally believe in what you're about to hear. For those of you that don't know, I want to introduce myself. My name is Lori Court. I am a Michigander, born and raised here, still living here now. I have a husband and 5 kids. 6 grandkids. I own a couple companies. I own a catering and event planning group. I'm a co-owner of Synergy, which is a production company. I am lucky enough to be the co-founder of a travel and adventure club, so I get to go around the world and travel, and it's being used all around the world, so that's a ton of fun. And I also have 5 years under my belt in the direct sales or affiliate marketing industry. And the beautiful thing about that is that I've learned skill sets I haven't learned elsewhere, but more importantly is that I've made some of the coolest relationships of my life through that industry. And so I'm very, very thankful for that. But one of the things that's really kind of come to the forefront in my life is that I've become more and more interested in like holistic or functional treatments for medical issues. And the reason is pretty obvious. Like, for one thing, pharmaceuticals, like they're just not good for us, not for our bodies. Our bodies are being ravaged by drugs, but more than that, pharmaceutical companies, they make their money off keeping people sick. And that's just not okay. That is not okay. And so for me, when somebody approached me about Awaken, I was like totally down to try it. And I'm so, so glad that I did. So I'm going to bring on my friend Jamie, and he's going to take it to the next level with you with Awaken, and Awaken is the name of this product. And guys, what that is, it's a holistic, completely organic CBD water. And I'm not going to go into what the benefits of CBD and CBG are, which are 2 ingredients in our water. You're going to hear that during the call. That's not up to me. But I want to bring Jimmy he's going to facilitate that. But so I didn't want to do this. Okay, I didn't want to give you a testimony because you're going to hear a couple that are pretty powerful through this call. But I want to just say this, that I'm going to anyway, because this is the reason. I know that there are people on this call that probably feel like I felt. And if just one of them had a same issue or similar issue to what I was having before I started taking Awaken, then I'll feel good about having done this. So I'll keep it really quick. But I wanted to tell you that starting with Awaken has done more for me than any other one thing that I've done to try to alleviate 3 issues that I was dealing with, okay? By far has done it. And so I'm in my 50s. And one of the things that I've struggled with has been headaches. And I'm not going to go very much into this. I think everybody gets headaches, right? Whether it's anxiety, stress, you're looking at a screen too much, whatever that may be. They were frequent, occasionally migraines, and they were debilitating enough when they got bad to be prescribed Imitrex, okay, which is a nerve block. Never thrilled about taking it, but it did help. Since I've taken Awaken, I've not had a headache, okay, but I don't want to go there. So second thing, more important thing is sleep. And for me, all right, so if I asked everybody on this call how many people don't sleep well, everybody? Like pretty much everybody in the whole world, right? Yeah, like everybody is complaining about being tired. Nobody is rested. And for me, anybody who does know me knows that sleep is kind of like what I consider a hot commodity. So if I get 5 hours in the night, that's a good night. But I'm really mostly not rested. And so one of the things that Awaken has done is I don't think I've slept as well since I started taking Awaken since before I had children. Okay, and I think for parents, if there's parents on this call tonight, I think that comes with the territory. Like the instant that you have kids, you just don't sleep the same. Like it's not always terrible, it's never great, but you don't sleep the same. But I can tell you that I have not been this rested in 30 years. That is no joke, that is no exaggeration, but again, I don't really want to go there, okay, because that could be a whole entire call. But the one prevalent issue that I really, really want to tell you guys about, because this made the biggest change in my day-to-day life, was I had chronic pain in my left hip. Okay, and so I want to tell you, I want to like focus on this one, and this is why. Because this one, with Awaken, I have seen improvement in this particular issue beyond what I could have ever expected. Like I honestly sometimes don't believe myself when it comes out of my mouth, okay? This is what had happened. I tried thinking back to when this pain started, like pinpointing it. I don't know when it started. It's been long enough that it's affected my life for quite some time, at least 5 years. And so this is also the issue that I'm medicated all the time. Okay, so I took painkillers, and anti-inflammatories. And even though that helped the issue some, it always was like still there, like under the mask. Okay, so the drugs would mask it. It would take care of it for 4 or 5 hours. But even underneath of that, I still could feel it. It just wasn't as prominent. So I don't know how to describe it. I've never ever been effectively able to describe this pain, but some of you probably understand this. So it felt like in my hip, like in the joint, like there was a needle and it was hot and it would be inserted and you'd feel that pain. But then every now and then you would feel like this like oomph of pain, and the whole surrounding area would be hot and throbbing and achy and stiff. And so these are things that I couldn't do. I haven't sat Indian style in 5 years. It just wasn't worth it. If I was being chased, I was going to get caught. I couldn't run. No running for sure. Stairs were a killer. Even getting up out of my office chair or out of the car, like I felt like I was 100 years old. So I would get up. I'm sure I looked ridiculous. I would like limp my way to wherever I had to go. And during that time frame, it would loosen. Like I wouldn't be limping as much, but it would still be painful. But this is the thing. I started to take Awaken. And I know how crazy this sounds. I really do. I really, really do. 2 days. And I felt relief. I know, trust me, I know. I don't think people will believe me because it sounds so crazy, but it is the truth. 2 days, but that's not even it. So I am now 3 weeks into taking Awaken, okay? And I have zero pain, zero, okay? And trust me, I'm not a liar. This is the truth. Zero pain in that hip. But I'm going to tell you, I just got back from Santa Cruz. I'm going to make this really quick and bring Jamie on. I went there, sat 6 hours on a plane, got up, next day did an adventure race, and although I wouldn't consider it to be grueling, it was physical. Like we had to like do stupid stuff like duck walk or piggyback rides, things that would normally be very uncomfortable. Next day, spent the whole day sightseeing. So we like walked on the sand, on the pier, in the water, up and down hills. And the third day, back on a plane, 6 hours to Michigan, sitting, and I never felt pain the entire weekend. Guys, all I'm taking is 1 ounce in the morning and 1 ounce at night. And I'm not saying that's what everybody's dosage will be. I'm just saying for me, that works. And I'm incredibly thankful that I went ahead and tried it. And so just so that you guys know, listen closely to what you hear tonight. I wish I could tell you every single thing you're going to hear because I am that excited about it and I have been doing my research, but the guy who's going to tell you really knows his stuff. So I'm going to let him do it. But if you're dealing with any of these issues, anything that I've mentioned or anything you hear tonight, I encourage you to just try it. You will not be disappointed. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So without further ado, I want to introduce you finally to my friend Jamie Cheery. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about him because I think it's important that you know who you're hearing from. But Jamie is one of the smartest guys I know. And if he turned off his camera and if he started to speak tonight, if you didn't see him and you only got to hear him, you would not know he was only 24. Okay, he is wise beyond his years. through the course of our relationship, we started out just in business. We've become very good friends, and I think we both consider each other family now. We spend a lot of time together, and he teaches me things that I couldn't learn if I wasn't with him. And that to me is really, really important. He went to MSU, which makes me like him even a little bit more. He became an entrepreneur straight out of college, and he's been in direct sales for 6 years. And the cool part about this is that he has seen massive success, but he's been able to translate that, all of the skills he learned there, into 2 other businesses. One is consulting and one is digital marketing, both of which are growing incredibly fast. And I'm super proud of him for that. But on a more personal note, like aside from accomplishments, you just really need to know, and I hope someday you guys, most of you who don't know him, get to meet him, but Jamie is like honest and ethical and just, I just love him. I don't know how else to say it. Like, he knows how to make people feel really good. So when you're around Jamie, he makes a point to understand who he's talking to and make sure that that person knows that he's really making an effort to not just hear them to respond, but to really hear them. And I admire that very, very much about him. And so I am honored to bring on my friend, Mr. Jamie Cheria, and he's going to help you understand the rest of this call. Jamie, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, honey, I can. Thank you so much.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Lori, for the incredible intro. I'm definitely blessed to be able to be here on this call with you guys here tonight. And like Lori said, guys, I've been able to have some experience here in the direct sales industry, and I have to be honest with you guys. I have never been so excited about a product in my entire career. Like she kind of alluded to, my personal background is that I've spent about 6 years in the direct sales industry where I was able to develop the skills to launch my own consulting and digital marketing business. And I've personally had the privilege of helping some pretty awesome brands and some amazing companies run some pretty cool marketing campaigns over the course of my career. And throughout that process, myself and my business partner Luke Hessler, who a lot of you guys know, we were actually lucky enough to land our first consulting deal with a CBD oil companies. Okay, one of the first companies that ever decided to work with us in our digital marketing and consulting business was a CBD oil company. And that's actually what taught us personally the power of this type of product. And through working with that company, we were absolutely blown away. Normal people were seeing incredible results. And, the product that we were working with at the time, it was a CBD tincture. Okay. A CBD tincture is an oil that you drip underneath your tongue. And they claimed to have the highest absorption rate of all the other competitors. And to be honest, it was absolutely true. Their product blew most of the other oil-based products completely out of the water. But, through this whole process, one of the things that I was tasked with doing was helping that company find a new merchant account for their credit card processing. And through that process, we were lucky enough to discover this amazing technology behind Awaken, which is nanotech holistic hemp water. Okay, nanotech holistic hemp water. And we discovered a technology that could literally break up pharmaceutical grade CBD into particles that are so small that water molecules can actually wrap around them, which what that really means is it means the particles are so small that it has an incredible level of absorption. Most CBD tinctures that you absorb underneath your tongue, it's about a 10% absorption rate when you do the serving underneath your tongue. With holistic hemp water, you absorb 99.9% when ingested via drinking and swishing in your mouth for 20 to 25 seconds before swallowing. Most CBD, it tastes absolutely horrible. That's the number one turnoff to an amazing product. Holistic hemp water has no taste and no artificial flavors. Most CBD products are simply CBD isolates, which you'll learn a little bit more about when you learn from Dr. Joe, but CBD isolates derived from cannabis that end up leaving out all of the other important cannabinoids except for CBD. Holistic hemp water, on the other hand, it's extracted from industrial hemp, and it takes advantage of all the cannabinoids such as CBD and also CBG, but what it does is it leaves out 100% of the THC. So no THC, no psychoactive ingredients, no failing a drug test. This is directly from industrial hemp, okay, with CBD and CBG. The cannabinoid market, before I give it off to Dr. Joe, it's becoming one of the hottest markets right now. It finished in 2016 at $90 million worldwide. And right now, CBD was recently legalized in all 50 states less than 6 months ago. And it's projected to do $2.2 billion by the year 2020. And just the testimonies that I've been able to hear about the effectiveness of this amazing product, it's completely blown me away. Awaken Holistic Hemp Water, it's like nothing on the market. And, I'm excited to be able to prove it. And I get the pleasure of being able to introduce you guys to our special guest, Dr. Joe. Now, let me tell you guys a little bit about Dr. Joe. Dr. Joe has been involved in medicine for 41 years. He's also been involved in hemp, CBD research, CBD formulation, CBD manufacturing, all these different things for the last 4 years. He's currently manufacturing and researching CBD and its benefits in many disease processes such as seizures, concussions, intestinal disorders, autoimmune disease, PMS, opiate addiction, and neurodegenerative disorders. And he even has 2 articles submitted for publication on pain and diabetes. Dr. Joe became interested in CBD to help treat his son for a severe concussion that caused some major side effects, including memory loss, and he can tell that story. And he's also had some friends who were dealing with Crohn's disease and arthritis. Dr. Joe, he's excited to come on here tonight and teach us about the research and science that has been created over the last few decades that supports the health benefits of cannabinoids. So I'm excited to be able to introduce you guys to Dr. Joe. So Joe, did you make it on the call today? Joe, can you hear us? You got to unmute yourself.
I'm here.
Okay, perfect. Welcome to the call, man. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So, Joe, just to get us started, we're going to treat this a little bit more like an interview style. So, how about you give our audience a little bit of your background and your experience in medicine and how involved you are in the CBD world?
Sure. I'll go through the first 40 years pretty quickly. I started in medicine with my father when I was basically 9 years old and stayed involved as a surgeon for 13 years. Got out of medicine and got really involved in the holistic side of care. I was always involved more in the prevention of disease rather than the treatment. I think that's what's wrong with our healthcare system. Got a chance to really go around the world and practice medicine in Nepal and Kenya and Marrakesh, Morocco, as well as Guatemala and Honduras. And so I was able to learn from some really great people, including some of my mentors who trained with shamans all over the world and really learned about the power of medicine. About 4 years ago, I was the CEO of a research and development and formulation company that manufactured nutraceuticals as well. And every day I had people coming in and asking me about CBD. And quite honestly, because I had a DEA license, never smoked pot, didn't know anything about it, and I kind of had the traditional American approach to medicine, which is just throw pharmaceuticals at things. So I started reading about CBD, and I really learned how to differentiate CBD. I learned about the history from 1937 forward, when the whole discussion around hemp and marijuana was confused by the government. We use those terms interchangeably, and they're actually very different plants. I read over 1,200 articles and really got a good understanding. I then started working with some of my mentors and family members in the chemistry department in Utah. Learned a lot about the oils. Learned how a lot of the issues regarding oils, the contaminants, the issues of the hemp plant, and after I had come to an understanding of all the difficulties of using these chemicals, I then started to work on how to improve them and their administration. I became involved in a technology which I now own, the global worldwide rights to the nanotechnology that you guys get to benefit from. And that's really when we just took this over the top from a therapeutic standpoint. We were really able to see benefits. I wanted to make products that you could see benefits in 30 minutes. There's so many things that I have experienced in my life where they say, just, take these for 90 days and you might see your urine turn orange. And that somehow was some benefit that you were getting. And I really realized that if you were going to give people this product, you needed to be able to see results quickly. And I guarantee my experience over 4 years and over 1,700 people now, about 80% of people get a response within 30 minutes. The beauty of it is that each cell in our body, over 1.2 quadrillion receptors, each cell has 34 receptors. And so the goal is just to bathe every cell in your body with as much CBD as you can. What it does for you is what your body needs. It creates a homeostasis, meaning a balance in each one of your cells. So if your cells are prone to hypersensitivity disorders such as IBS or fibromyalgia or some of the other headache disorders like migraines, you can then getting back in balance will alleviate those problems. You see that this also has a tremendous number of other properties like anti-inflammatory properties. I don't know if you guys know this, but the second leading cause of renal failure in America is ibuprofen. So you're able to give a plant that has the same power as ibuprofen with no risk of renal or kidney disease. That's amazing when you start to think about it and think of all those people. If you know somebody on dialysis, you know what the struggles they have. So it has anti-cancer properties as well as many other properties that you can read about and we'll talk about. I think it's important that you are not getting into conversations about diagnosis, prevention, treatment of disease. You know, we're not practicing medicine in this situation. We're exposing people to a plant that has amazing medicinal properties. So then we really started looking at the technology and the drug delivery. And what we do differently is we take an organic compound and through a series of processes, we break it down to a size of about 5 to 7 nanometers. And I'll let Joel put that into perspective to a human hair. But we then take water and we purify water to less than 2 ppm, less than 17 ohms, if you know about the energy of water. We then break the water apart so that all those molecules that kind of bunch together are down to simple H2O molecules or little clumps. And then we take the organic compound and mix those two so that the organic compound gets wrapped in water. So when you drink the product, your body thinks it's water and it rapidly absorbs the organic compounds, the CBD and CBG, as well as the other 120 compounds into your body and into each cell. When it gets into the cells, it reacts with receptors all over each cell. So you guys say, okay, yeah, right. How do you know that? Well, what we did is we tagged the chemical with an immunofluorescent chemical. So when you take an X-ray of the body 30 minutes after ingestion of the product, we actually were able to show that it was basically bathing 99.9% of the cells in your body within 30 minutes. So we've done that study. That's not some hyperbole. The second thing that we've done is we've allowed the organic compounds CBD, CBG, and the other 120 some odd chemicals to be in a size that they cross the blood-brain barrier and can act directly on your brain where it benefits a lot of the neurodegenerative disorders that we see in modern Western society. Parkinson's, MS, Alzheimer's, these are all disorders that have many, many problems with them that cause a lot of disability, and including strokes. So we've created a compound that can rapidly go in and bathe your brain, so that you heard just a little while ago about headaches. That's one of the easy ones. So it's kind of fun to see people get off of narcotics. The most narcotics I've seen somebody get off of is 200 milligrams equivalent of morphine a day. So we've really been able to change people's lives with a very simple plant product that used to be called ditchweed. So there it is in a nutshell.
All right. Awesome. Well, sticking on that last topic, there are a lot of people on here who, they hear CBD, they hear THC, they hear hemp, and they hear, something that is taboo. Can you please explain to our audience just, how our product does not have any THC in it, how it has no psychoactive properties whatsoever, how you cannot get high from it no matter how much you ingest. And also kind of the big, thing within the industry where I believe it's, the average amount or the lowest amount that most products have is 0.0003% THC, and how most people are able to get away with that, and how we have actually zero THC within our product. Can you explain that to the audience?
Sure. So my partner in this business got into it in order to save his dad's life. His dad had a diagnosis of cancer and was told that he needed a bone marrow transplant and he might have a 20% chance of living. That was 8 years ago. I'm about to stay in his home in Hawaii for my partner's wedding. So we kind of disproved the Stanford oncologist on that one. But basically what we've been able to do is we grow our own hemp. So we have 7,000 acres in Eastern Europe. The soil is EU organic soil, very important. It's also EU organic seeds. So what that means is that the soil is purified. We don't use pesticides, and there aren't heavy metals. We test for all those things. But the unique part that Jamie is asking about is that we've excised the THC gene. So it's a genetic technique called CRISPR, but what we've done is we've identified that gene and it's been removed. So when our plants grow, they just don't grow with THC. The result is that we have the ability to amplify the other 120 chemicals or so in the plant. Those are CBD, CBG, CBC, CBN, and then all the terpenes and the flavonoids. When we get the oils out of the plant, it's a really cool process. So the first 30 inches of the plant, which is 15 to 20 feet tall, we cut off. Then we extract all the oils from that area of the plant. You'll hear a lot about the different extraction techniques and the use of supercritical CO2 and some other techniques like that. But the result is that when you use those kind of techniques, you get rid of the entourage effect or the synergy of all those different chemicals, because all the terpenes are eliminated with hypercritical CO2. So the technique we use to extract is we use pharmaceutical grade hydrocarbons. And what that allows is it allows us to have an oil that expresses all of the chemicals without destroying them in the process. So we have a very rich oil. On top of that, because of the way we grow our plants and now we harvest them, we have a tremendous amount of CBG. CBG is sort of the mother plant chemical. So CBC, THC, CBD, CBN all come from CBG, basically. And so what we're able to do is get very high concentrations of the CBG. So the oil and the water that you have is at a concentration basically of 50-50 CBD to CBG. Why that's important is that it has much more potential in the inflammation area, as well as anxiety, cancer, and it's one unique property that they've seen in some clinical studies is it has the ability to stimulate neurogenesis, which is the regrowth of nerves. So you can just imagine the kind of results we get when we start giving this to people. People who have had nerve injuries can start feeling stimulation in those areas that those nerves used to basically sense. So we've seen some pretty amazing things with CBG. So Jamie, I hope that answers you.
Yes, that absolutely does. And the biggest thing I took away from that is that, most CBD oils on the market, guys, they only have the compound CBD. This product has 50% CBD. It has 50% CBG. It has the terpenes. It has the different cannabinoids. But then it also, which I'd like you to expand upon this, Joe, it has, full trace vitamins and minerals. Okay, so Joe, could you please, just expand just for a very short period of time on, the vitamins and minerals infused into this?
Yeah, in basic physiology, your cells in your body need all the minerals and vitamins and trace rare earths in order to produce energy, to manage oxidative stress, the aging process of each cell, to repair DNA. Everything that your body needs requires all these minerals and vitamins. And so we in our water actually have 82 minerals and vitamins, as well as the energy needed for cellular activity. So each cell in your body gets bathed with this whole spectrum of minerals and vitamins, as well as CBD, CBG, the terpenes, and the flavonoids.
Okay. Incredible. Okay, so moving forward, that's pretty mind blowing. But one thing I will say is that every single batch of product that we have, it comes through with the certification of authenticity from BYU in Utah that shows that what's in our product, it says it's in our product, is actually in our product. So that's going to be a huge relief for a lot of people, knowing, hey, it's not just water. This is actually what they're saying it is. So moving forward, I know you kind of talked about it a little bit. You talked about a little bit of the extraction process from the industrial hemp. Will you talk about just where exactly our CBD is sourced from exactly, and just, a very basic overview of that process from farm to water?
Sure. The process that everybody tries to glamorize is called seed to sale. And what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to track your chemicals right from the soil all the way to the customer's mouth. And the vast majority of companies are unable to do that because they don't own the whole process. We do. So we own our own farms. The genetics and the technology is overseen by a university in Eastern Europe, an Academy of Sciences. We then extract our own oils on our farms. And we have all the documentation of that. Even we have pictures of the farmers with their tractors on the land. We then bring the oils over to the U.S. to our offices in Colorado. And then from there, I receive those oils in Utah, where we manufacture the end water products. That entire chain of custody remains intact. So we can guard the safety of our oils just like they do pharmaceuticals. So the process is controlled by our company all the way through till you get to the product that you guys are starting to enjoy.
Great. Yeah, moving on to the next question. Talking absorption rate, obviously, I mentioned a 10% absorption rate from the tinctures, that you put under your tongue. I've heard, 20 to 30%, from vaporizing the CBD. But then I've now heard, upwards of 90%. I've even heard 99.9% absorbed directly with water. So can you explain to us just, the difference in our absorption rate versus everybody else's, and just overall, what separates this from the best CBD out there in the oil form?
It's really the drug delivery system. It's the nanotechnology. So the ability of the CBD and the CBG and the other organic compounds to get into your bloodstream is the key. When you use an oil, that oil is bound together, or you have alcohol in it to thin it. Some other things like vegetable oil or coconut oil. So all those things get in the way of absorption. And also, they don't, as they pass across cells, they're too big to be absorbed. The molecules are. So they just go down into your intestinal tract and get digested. The tinctures are about 10% absorbed. The vapes, things that you smoke, are up to 30% absorbed because they go into your lungs and they are bathed by the blood around your lungs, which usually carries oxygen. So they're a little bit better absorbed. But the nanotechnology allows the water, which is carrying the CBD, to be absorbed by every cell it passes. So basically, every cell that the water goes across absorbs some of the CBD. And if you swish it in your mouth, I usually tell people to brush their teeth and then swish and swallow. So the mucosa of your mouth then goes into your bloodstream and directly into your body, rather than going through your liver, where it gets metabolized and becomes ineffective. So that's why the water is so effective compared to any of the other products. Even if you took massive doses, because only 10% is absorbed, you're not getting as much as we have in our product.
Wow, that's just incredible. That's amazing. I know that you mentioned one more thing, and you mentioned it once, and I'd like you to expand upon it just a little bit more. But CBG, okay, and this is really what sets this product apart from everyone else. We are not just CBD, but we're 50% CBG, which I recently heard from Joel, who you guys are going to hear from next, that CBG is going for over $90,000 a kilogram on the market right now, and 50% of our product is CBG. So can you just expand one more time on CBG and really just the overall benefits of it?
Sure. So CBG is the chemical that all the other chemicals come from, all the other cannabinoids come from, basically. And the problem is that in general, when you're growing the hemp plants, as soon as they're exposed to light, they start to convert the CBG into the CBD and CBC and so forth. And so what we are able to do through the way we grow the plant and the genetics of the plant, it has a much, much higher concentration of the CBG oil from the start. So the potency is much higher. So when we extract it, we start with a much higher level of the CBG. And then we also are able to grow without the sunlight and harvest the plants in such a way that we can get even more CBG. So it's a really, really difficult process. That's why it's so expensive, because it tends to convert. So when you harvest a regular hemp field, it's less than 1% CBG. So that our techniques and our genetics allow us to have much, much higher concentrations.
Okay, great. So CBG is the major key, guys, here in this product. So moving on to our last two questions. This is a big one. I recently just read that the CBD industry for pets, okay, it's been around for 5 years. The CBD industry for pets recently did $10 billion worldwide. The CBD industry for pets. I recently read that. So can you expand upon why this is great for pets?
Yeah, so even very small trace concentrations of THC can be toxic for animals. In some states, they're actually now banning CBD from industrial hemp because of the THC toxicity in small animals. Ours has 0. And so you don't have any of that toxicity. So we've done small studies in dogs, and I'm currently doing 2 studies in horses in Northern Virginia. And the results have been astounding. And people pay a lot more for their animals than they do for themselves. So the model makes sense. But it's predominantly because there's just no THC in our product, 0, that it's a lot safer for animals at any dosing.
All right, perfect. And our last question, can you just give the audience a direction, okay, to maybe a website or two where they can learn more about CBD, CBG, or hemp? I know there's a few that you've directed us to in the past, but could you give the audience a few of those resources where they could do their own independent research?
Sure. So if you take the body of work that's out there in the published literature, there's over 9,600 articles on CBD. Basically, what that means is that there's been 2 articles published every day since 1972 on this. So when people try to tell you there's not enough research, we need more research, that's just bull. There is a tremendous body of literature. In fact, you guys, if you didn't know this, our government owns the patent on the synthetic chemical CBD. It's called Patent 507B. It was issued in 1999 to the Health and Human Services. Department of Health and Human Services. So even though our government tries to tell us that it's no good, that it has no medicinal properties, it owns the patent. So you should read the patent. It's amazing. They did a lot of work on neurodegenerative disorders, stroke, as well as pain and inflammation. So the patent is a must read. There's 2 books in Amazon. One of those is called, I think, Hemp Rich Oil Medicine is back. It's a small book written by the American Cannabis Nursing Association, and it's a 1 hour, 2 hour read, and I highly recommend you get that book. It's about, I think it's like $2 on electronically, and about $8 if you buy a hard copy. And I'm old enough, I bought the hard copy. There's also another book called Emperor Wears No Clothes, and it's written by Jack Frere. And he's kind of considered one of the leading proponents of medical marijuana. And you got to realize, even though these are different plants, the medical side of medical marijuana is CBD. They just always attributed everything to THC because everybody wanted to get stoned. So that book is great. The thing about that book that's so interesting is that half the book is the book. The second half of the book is all the supporting documents. So all the studies that the U.S. government tried to hide, all the congressional hearings that they tried to hide, all the books and information in the Library of Congress that the Bush family tried to have expunged from the Library of Congress, all of that's in this book. So if you really want to understand the scam, the history of this product and these chemicals, that book will give it to you. It's a long, hard read, though. It's a lot of information. The website that I try to point everybody to is projectcbd.org. Projectcbd.org is an educational website, nonprofit. If you go to the homepage and you go down to the box in the bottom right-hand corner of the page, it says conditions. You click on the conditions box. It lists the 50 some odd conditions that have been studied. And you click on the condition and it takes you to a list of the articles. You click on an article and it takes you to the NIH, the National Institutes of Health website, PubMed. And you can start reading about the preclinical and the clinical research on all these different disorders that is supposedly we have no evidence that it helps in. So those are the best resources.
Awesome. Well, Joe, I appreciate you so much for being on the call with us tonight. Thank you so much for the incredible insight, and we're gonna keep moving forward. So thank you so much for joining us, man.
My pleasure. Just get it in people's mouth and let them prove it to themselves. Have a great night.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, that's great. Next, I have the pleasure of being able to introduce you guys to, one of my mentors, Mr. Joel Thieler. And Joel has an incredible story, and I'm not going to ruin it, but he became the CEO of this incredible company, Live Elite, at just 23 years old, and is one of the most hardworking and most tenacious people that I've literally ever met. He was a free safety at BYU on the football team in Utah when he was in college, and in his football years, Joel unfortunately had a neck injury. He broke his neck, and it led to chronic pain among a lot of other things over the last decade, which has caused him to obviously seek out the traditional route, which so far has been the prescription drugs to be able to relieve that pain. And, Joel's personal testimony is just incredible. The personal testimony for himself and for his family, that's going to be enough, in my opinion, to be able to convince you guys of the validity of this product. Joel's story is one that's going to get you fired up about sharing this with everybody that you know who's experienced some sort of symptom in their life. So I'm excited to introduce you guys to not only our CEO, but one of my great friends, Mr. Joel Thieler. Joel, did you make it onto the call, man?
Yes, here I am.
Awesome, man. I can hear you. Take it away.
Just for you, Jamie. Winter's coming. Winter's coming. All right, guys. So like Jamie said, I have an amazing, in my opinion, amazing testimonial for me and my family. And that's the reason why this started. Okay, so over the last 6 months, I've learned a lot about the CBD industry. I learned about it from some associations that I had, both friends and business partners, and a mixture of the two. And I just was like, well, what's CBD? What's CBG? And he said, oh, it's the hemp plant or the marijuana plant that you take out the psychoactive, and then you are able to alleviate a lot of symptoms. But unfortunately, it comes in the small tincture that just straight tastes like garbage. I mean, it just tastes nasty. And if any of you that are using it know that. So I personally got it from my wife, because my wife, she has severe anxiety, and she doesn't sleep that well. And she her anxiety gets so bad. For example, when I travel and I'm gone for 2 weeks at a time, she barely sleeps because she's so anxious about where I am or what's going on and things like that. And plus, she's a mother of 3 kids, and I'm, I kind of just say whatever, so she has to deal with that. And so I was trying to get her to take these this new type of alternative medicine, because she was constantly telling me, I don't like how this feels. I don't like how this feels. She had a slow delay kind of medication. And then she also had instant medication, and it just constantly made her feel bad. And she's been dealing with that for a long time. So she was actually the first person to ever try what we have right here, the Awaken water right here, guys. This is liquid gold, baby. And she was like, all right, I'll take it. And she was like, well, what do you mean? This tastes like water. What are you talking about? And I'm like, yeah, that's why it's so cool. It doesn't taste bad like all the other ones I made you try. And I'm like, swish it in her mouth and then swallow it. So she looked at me weird, and she's swishing it in her mouth, and she's like, all right, honey, I guess I'll do it. And literally the next day when she woke up, she was like, wow, I had a crazy dream. But we didn't think anything about it. I was like, oh, that's cool. And I thought for a second, when's the last time I had a dream? 13 years ago when we had kids? Probably. So, then another day goes along, and I took it the next day. I had her take it the first night, and I took it the next day. Then the next day, she was like, wow, I'm feeling a lot less anxious than I used to. I don't have so much anxiety that it's giving, like, her heart is pounding out of her chest. Any of you that deal with that know what it is. And she was like, yeah, it's just not as intense as it was. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. And I'm like, is this placebo or is this real? You never know. It's 2 days, but I didn't even care if it was placebo. I would tell her to keep helping her. But anyways, I take it that night and I say, we both wake up and we had 2 dreams. Didn't think anything of it. And I, like Jamie said, I have a fusion in 4 bones in my neck. So 2 were crushed into pieces and 2 were cracked, and they did a big fusion right here when I was 23 years old. Then I've had a full rhinoplasty because my nose got broken. I have the most weird elbows you've ever seen because right here I have an ulnar nerve surgery, which was one of the hardest surgeries I ever had. I have this right here, if you can see it. This is a symptom of an autoimmune disease. Okay, I'm trying to paint the picture that I'm not the healthiest person out there, okay? And I've had about 3 other surgeries, and that doesn't include all the minor surgeries that I've done for my neck. So it suffices to say that, like Jamie said, I have a lot of problems with taking way too much medication, having to take pain medication because there is no alternative, and I'm just like, I was telling Jamie this last weekend, I hate it. You know, I hate it and I hate it, but if I don't take it, the pain's so bad, I can't work, I can't function, and all these things. And then I started telling him more about the testimonial of me and my wife. So I get back to the both of us now. Now we're on the 3rd day. I wake up again and I said, I had a dream. And she said, yeah, I had a dream too. And I'm like, how? So now I'm like, wow, this isn't just water. Because literally Joe gave me this with no label, no nothing. He's like, try this. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, how is this not snake oil? And I'm just putting it to the test. So 3 nights in a row, my wife has dreams. I have 2 nights of dreams. Her anxiety has dropped. My pain has dropped. And this is only after, 2 nights for me, 3 nights for her. Then we continue forward. About a week goes by. My wife at this time said to me when I got home from work, I literally feel like my anxiety has gone from here all the way to here. Like I think I'm good enough to stop taking my medication. And I'm like, wow, that's a big leap, right? That's a big leap because if she gets off of it, she could have an attack and it wouldn't be good. So I'm like, okay, well, let's do it tonight and let's see what happens. So she doesn't take her medication that night. She doesn't take her long-lasting and her immediate medication. I am now feeling a reduction in my my neck pain, and my sleep overall is just so much better. So we wake up the next morning and she's slept through the night. I've slept through the night again. And now this time, if I don't dream, it's like a weird night. And since I'm dreaming so much, I have crazy dreams, which is like amazing. But what I love is that after 7 days, you guys can see that my wife went from being extremely anxious and full of anxiety to be taken off of her medication, off of 2 medications that she's been taking for years and years and years, a long, long time. Okay, I have now taken it for a week, and I am noticing a huge reduction in pain, about 50%, which for me is amazing because right now I'm paying hundreds of dollars a month and literally thousands of dollars a year. I've met my deductible 5 years in a row for my family, and it's just me. Just me. That shows you how many medications I'm taking, how many doctors I'm seeing, and it's just, maddening to me. So I'm now noticing a huge reduction in pain, and I have paid thousands of dollars just for a surgery for about 10%. So we move forward again 2 more weeks, and my pain has reduced so bad, I can't tell you the change that it's made. My wife's anxiety is completely gone. She's now almost a month on the product along with me, and she has not taken her anxiety medication in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. I have already reduced 3 medications that I take that are muscle relaxers, one of my sleeping medicines, and then I've already done a reduction in my painkillers. And for any of you that know what that symptoms feel like, it's not fun. But my goal is I want to get off all of these so I can live a healthy life. I can get my body back in harmony. And I'm telling you, the only reason why is because the Awaken Holistic Hemp Water. And I love the name Awaken because it reminds me that I need to wake up. I need to get out of the big pharma telling me that it's fine to keep taking medicines which are later on going to hurt me in life. And we've all been we've been preached that our whole lives. It's just if the doctor gives it to you, it's fine. If the doctor gives it to you, fine, no matter what it is. And it's also, we're trying to awaken up the world and let them know that this amazing plant can change their lives. Guys, we've talked about a lot of stuff, and we just got to be super careful because all of these testimonials are amazing. And I just want to make sure you guys know we don't want to claim that we're curing cancer and all this stuff, but we are helping people with their symptoms, if that makes sense. We're helping people with the symptoms of all of these illnesses or diseases or whatever they may be suffering from. And we don't need to tell you about CBD or CBG or any of that. All I want you to focus on is that this Awaken water has the best, by far, the best absorption in the industry. It also has no taste, which is just amazing because the others just taste like straight garbage. And third, the human part of the market has only been around for 6 months. The pet market's only been around for 5 years. We are the only company selling holistic hemp water or hemp water in general in the network marketing or the direct sales industry. Okay, guys, we have an amazing opportunity, whether you just want to be a customer and feel better, or whether you want to be a distributor and you want to, build a team and make friends and get other people healthy, whether they be customers or distributors, or if you want to be a customer and get your product for free and help sign up other customers. We don't care. We just want you to be a part of this movement where we're awakening the whole freaking United States. I'm like, every time I talk about this, I get so excited because I know what it's done for me. I know what it's done for so many people, and I can't even tell you their testimonials because they're just like Lori's, and you wouldn't believe them. You would not believe them. People almost going to the hospital, drink this, 30 minutes later, boom, no pain. I wouldn't believe it. You wouldn't believe it, but it happened. Okay, guys, trying to calm down. I'm trying to calm down here. But I am so blessed to be a part of this. I am so thankful that I have this in my life because it's already changed my life and improved my quality of life in 1 month. 1 month. I can't wait to see how I'm feeling in 2 months and 3 months. I can't wait to see how many people realize and wake up and take this product. Guys, I know it works. We have it at an amazing price. And we just want you to be involved however you choose to be involved. And I would tell you, and I would urge you to read this book. You can read it. It's called Cannabis Revealed. And it talks all about the misconceptions of the cannabis and the hemp plant, and also CBD and all these things that people just don't understand. This book changed my wife's way of thinking. And she just read it a month ago. And she's changed exactly what she thinks about medicine and what she thinks about being holistic and getting your body back in harmony. Guys, I know that if you take one of these bottles, sell them to your customers or give them to your customers, you will get more customers. Whether you're a customer and you want it free, give them the bottle and they will have a response. We have a 30-day, 100% money back guarantee. You can call us, send back the 2 empty bottles, and say, I didn't have anything. So you literally have no risk. We won't argue with you. We won't ignore you. We won't do anything. You can just say, I don't have it. Boom, refund done. Guys, Awaken has literally changed my life. I know it's going to change your life. And this bottle right here will change tens of thousands of lives in the next 6 months, and then about 100,000 lives after that. And you guys are at the very beginning, very beginning, and it's up to you to decide what you want to do. Do you want to awaken and push forward and just crush this volume with this amazing product, or do you want to stay asleep like a lot of people out there? Guys, my name is Joel Thieler. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to turn it back to Jamie, my great friend. We talk, like I said, about thrones after every episode. I love you, buddy. Take care.
All right. Thank you so much, Joel, for coming on the call. Guys, this is super exciting. We're not going to take up any more of your time. I just encourage you to get back with the person who invited you onto this call, because, you know, if they invited you onto this call from a perspective of you being a customer for this product, they obviously thought of you for a reason, and they thought this could relieve pain. This could help you sleep better. This could help alleviate some of those things with anxiety. You know, I myself know that this is a product that could totally change the lives of the people in my family. My dad's driven a truck for the last 30 years, arthritis through his whole body. My mom's been taking Zoloft for her entire, for the last, 25 to 30 years. And, my sister is about to go through a massive hip surgery. Okay. So CBD is going to be great for the recovery. So I know that this is something that can change the lives of the people around me. So guys, get back with the person who invited you on here. Our product is very, very cost effective. If you want to just get started on a one bottle. One bottle is 14 ounces and it's $65. Okay, it's about 2 weeks worth of product. If you don't double dose, depending on your symptoms, we might ask you to double dose, which might make you go through that first bottle a little bit faster. But one bottle, 14 ounces. You've got a half an ounce shot in the morning and at night. It'll last you 14 days. $65 for 2 bottles. It's $124.99 for 2 14-ounce bottles. About 4 weeks worth of product. And if you really see the value in it, you want it for you and your family. You maybe want to tell some friends about it. We have business packages that range from 5 bottles to 10 bottles to 20 bottles. That decrease in price, as you go. And obviously, if you want to buy some for you and you want to buy some for your pets, that wholesale price would probably make a lot of sense. So I appreciate you all for being on this call. Get back with the person who invited you on here. Try this product. Okay, try this product for 2 weeks. And then call your friend and tell them what your experience was. Tell them what your testimony was. And I appreciate you guys. Everybody have an amazing night, and let's go wake them up.